This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Do you ever feel like there are issues that come up throughout the week and you just don't have time to work through them? Put them in your therapy box. Therapy gives you a consistent space to think so you don't have to worry about everything in the moment. Give it a try at betterhelp.com/allies.
Hello, welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This week I'm joined by Brad Ellis.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Hello.
Michael Damiani.
Look out for Activision Blizzard.
Okay.
Look out for them.
Look out.
Look out. Okay. And
Monster
making
approaches.
it all happen in the control room, we have Isla Hink,
Hi.
joined by Don Casanova, working away,
2 points.
and Gabby working away with the fan.
Tiny Fan Summer.
Tiny fan summer.
Tiny Fan Summer is a
Tiny
10 out of
Fan
10.
Summer, dude.
That's a 10.
Tiny,
Like
Fan
Tiny
Summer,
Dancer.
dude.
Tiny Fan Summer.
Hold
me closer.
Friends, we're here to talk about some of the biggest headlines in video games this week. Black Panther Game is coming sometime.
Sweet.
Someday.
Sick.
We've got a dire report on the availability of classic games.
Yeah.
But we've also got some great news on classic games
That's
coming
what I
as well.
wanna hear.
So yeah.
Oh, we do.
Plus, the FTC lost their case to block the Microsoft Activision merger, but they're still trying. Before we get started, we must answer for the mistakes we made in last week's episode. Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Please let there be a planet's correction.
We got that breaking news on Yuji Naka's sentencing during last week's podcast, so I was a little fuzzy on details. But to be clear, he is not currently going to jail.
Okay.
He essentially has a 4-year probation.
Okay.
And if he breaks those terms, then he will go to jail.
What is it called?
White collar crime.
Is it called
dude.
deferred adjudication or whatever? Yeah.
Is he wearing an ankle bracelet?
I have no idea.
Dude, I hope so.
No,
Yeah,
Sonic
it's
checks
just
in on
keep
him every now
Keep
and
that
then.
madman in his house.
Also, I was confused about the fines, the way it was written in the article that we had as a source at the time. But there were 2 separate fines, one for 2 million yen and one for 170 million yen.
Okay.
Brad,
Yes.
got some folks that jumped in there defending controller support for Baldur's Gate 3 after you refused. They say Larian's controller support has been fantastic, and as someone who will avoid mouse and keyboard at all costs, that is good for me to hear, and I'm sure it's good for Damiani to hear as
Wait,
well.
you avoid mouse and keyboard at all costs?
Yeah, like unless a game
I thought he was
needs
gonna- I
it,
thought he was referencing me.
I am like if it's a point and click adventure, yeah, I'll use mouse and keyboard.
What
but
about
I'm
an
not-
RTS?
What's that?
What about an RTS?
An RTS, I would use mouse and keyboard probably.
What about a
Wait, that's not a
first-person shooter?
correction. That's
No.
not a correction, though.
No.
What about the original Quake?
What?
I don't know.
Wait, how is
He
that?
never
A, my
play
whole
it,
point
that's
is
what
like
I mean.
I was saying I'm not playing that on
Motion controls.
console or at
Keyboard is not great for me moving around.
but that's not a correction. How's that a correction? That's
Yeah,
just
that-
a preference.
Yeah,
Dude,
Your preference is wrong, I guess, is what they're saying.
that is not a correction.
Dick, can we get a planet
Yeah.
correction? Can we get a planet correction then?
if you're gonna come at me, you gotta come at me strong. That's weak as shit.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just people upset.
Yeah,
I like to use a controller.
It's not a correction.
No, the correction is that the controller support is really great.
I didn't say it was bad though. I just said I'm playing that. It's a PC game. I'm playing on PC. That's what I was saying. I'm playing mouse and keyboard.
yeah, same.
Huber.
Yeah,
One does not brew popcorn. You can only cook or pop popcorn.
brew. I said brew.
You sort of gonna brew up some popcorn.
Brew up some popcorn. Okay. Oh, I guess I'll take it. I don't know. But like when I think of brewing, I think of like concocting. It's
You
kinda-
brew liquids. Popcorn
Yeah, it's
is
usually
not
liquid,
a liquid.
but I like
All
it
right,
though.
all right, all right, all right, all right. Fair point, fair
I
point,
like
fair
it,
point.
though. I'm gonna start saying that.
Brew up
Brew
some
some popcorn, dude.
Conjure it.
Yeah.
And somebody left a comment trying to explain all the history of the River City games, but they had a lot of asides and parentheticals to the point that I'm not even sure what they were trying to correct.
Long and complicated history.
Sounds like we got trouble.
So if you
right
want
here in River City.
Yeah, if you want to know more about the River City series, go look that up. But yeah, there's a lot of things that didn't come out here, a lot of games that did come out here under totally different weird names.
The only ones I've ever finished are River City Ransom and like the original, and then River City Girls 0, 1, and 2.
Got it.
That's it. And they made those like the easiest available.
Right, but then there's a whole bunch of other games that like you might not even know are associated with it because they just put them out under different names here.
Yeah,
So,
like when I was doing the deep dive on River City Girls, that's when I learned that there was that like volleyball game where they debuted or whatever. It's like, what?
Yeah. If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or the patron version of this episode. Start with a word correction so I can find it in search, and leave a timestamp so I know what the heck we were talking about. End corrections music.
Boop. Hey, make sure it's a correction actually too.
Yeah. You want opinions?
Yeah.
Give him the frame trap.
Start your own podcast.
Yeah, send him frame trap.
Send a frame trap.
I'll eviscerate you on that show too.
You know the best way to start a podcast.
Game announcement.
Game announcement, yes. We've sort of known about EA having something to do with this in the past, but yeah, there is a Black Panther game in the works. This is from a new EA studio in Seattle called Cliffhanger Games.
Interesting.
Great movie. And I liked that game on Genesis.
Nice.
Side scroller.
This is going to be third-person action-adventure, single-player. They made that stuff clear up front.
EA's doing a lot of single player nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
They were the ones talking trash the most back in the day.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah, they're like after Avengers. It's like, let's not do that.
They learned their lesson first.
They did.
It was so hard
They've been doing
in,
good stuff.
Yeah. The team is going to be led by Kevin Stevens, who's from Monolith Productions, Shadow of Mordor.
That's interesting because I'm pretty sure they were doing the Wonder Woman game. Was
Right.
that them?
Right.
So we haven't seen that game for a long time, so I'm curious about that game also. But I guess, moving on over. So I guess it'll be kind of similar, maybe, type of game?
Yeah.
You said it's third person.
Third-person action-adventure stuff, yeah.
There's also that like, is this the Captain America one?
No, that's
That
a
one's
different
different, right?
thing.
There's like a
That's
Captain America
is that
game
the
too.
Amy Hennig one?
Yeah.
Captain America, I don't know for
It's
sure.
Captain America and like Black Panther.
There's
both.
there's an Iron Man game that
Also
EA's working on.
I don't think that's EA though. I can't remember. Cool. That's a correction.
Yeah.
Too many superheroes?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah,
and it's like we haven't like seen them in the flesh, so it's like is that?
if Amy Hennig's doing it, it's probably not an EA thing. I don't know what that one is exactly. Also, they're going to have some people that have worked on Halo Infinite, God of War, and Call of Duty, among other games.
Some veterans.
This is a quote that they need to calm down on, though.
Oh, boy.
Love the
There's going to be more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven video game.
They, as in the devs or
As
us?
in the players. As in players.
Okay.
Bold statement.
Okay.
More narrative control than you've ever experienced.
Okay. Hey, Baldur's Gate 3 is coming right out.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
170 hours of cutscenes.
Baldur's Gate.
You know it's gonna be like two choices.
Yeah.
Renegade or Paragon.
Yeah, is it going to be an RPG as well?
Yeah. It's just like, okay, dude.
And then it had the join our team pitch.
The recruit.
at the end.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yes,
Okay.
We're looking to recruit.
But this
people
was
for
not a
game.
trailer, actually. It was actually just them
This
saying
was
it.
a press release.
Yeah.
This is just a press
Sure.
release.
For that, I think that totally works.
Yeah, I mean that's my big question. Like, is this the right way to handle like not being too secretive, but not like building up hype
I
too
think-
prematurely?
Yeah, I prefer that, but instead of seeing a trailer and getting like semi-excited about it, but then you're realizing it's 10 years away and you're like, okay, well. But this them just saying like, hey, this game exists actually.
Yeah. I think there was like an animated logo kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like
That's like
this.
nothing, though.
This wasn't in like
Yeah.
a big like event.
Yeah.
Right. Like you weren't putting this at the front of the Game Awards or something.
Yeah, they did this with like Dead Space too. They're kind of just announcing the game and showing it slowly over time. And I think that worked out well for that game. So I think this is a
Some
good
cool
strategy.
lighting
Blood,
videos,
honestly.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we learned, like one of the pitfalls that Arcane had with Redfall was like they couldn't tell anybody what they were working on.
No,
And so
sure
they couldn't
couldn't.
get the people they needed to make that game.
Yeah.
And the people that were, coming in, it's like, oh, we're going to make an immersive sim, right? And it's like, well, no.
Yeah, I think this is a much better idea, especially when everyone wants talent so badly for their games.
Right.
I think this is the smart move. Everyone knows what the game is actually and what they can recruit for. So,
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Arcane and be like, can we make an immersive sim? They're like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So like now you know actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think too, like the other side of it is that, it's one thing to get like, oh, people are just generally looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing is like, if you're like hanging out over at Sucker Punch and it's like, you know what? I like my time on Infamous. I like what we've done with Ghost of Tsushima, but whoa, Black Panther. Like I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
it's time to
totally.
make a shift over here.
Yeah,
Let's get those Infamous remasters.
True.
Let's get that.
let's get a lot of remasters.
But it's like Infamous devs would be good on a Black Panther game,
oh,
right?
my
yeah,
God,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course they know.
Big
would
time.
Be good.
They're
yeah.
neighbors.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, man, that's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, I am very optimistic about this game, mainly because I think Black Panther is like a perfect video game character. His powers are like really awesome, and I think will translate well to a video game. When I think about like Superman or Iron Man, zipping around everywhere.
Yeah, you don't got to
it's-
worry about flying.
Yeah, it feels like grounded. Like you can still get that speed. Like you can be really fast, really strong, really agile. I think it fits really well.
I think you have like justifiable reasons for like upgrades and stuff as well, right? Like with all the
Yeah.
technology and stuff
Yeah.
going on there.
Different
It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
they just came up with a new thing for you to use.
Give me,
Yeah, different tech.
better have that suit where I take damage. I can just yeah.
The expansion, the Avengers expansion, War for Wakanda, was like pretty cool, but my biggest complaint with that game is that so many people felt the same.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I know they feel a little different on
Like,
paper,
as soon
but
as
it's
I saw
still like
Kamala
dodging
swinging,
and
I knew
attacking.
exactly how Iron Man or how
Yeah.
Spider-Man was going to look.
Yeah, there's way too much similarity with the characters in that game, so this will be like the real deal. Black Panther.
Cool. It's a new studio too. I like that. New
Yeah.
EA studio.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like they're extremely early, and so it's
Yeah.
like right now it's like they're hiring, they're trying to get the right people.
Yeah.
And that's what they need for this kind of
Absolutely.
project. So it'll be cool to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we don't see it again for 3 years. Basically.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
It's like cool. We know you're working on it. Hire your people.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't hear anything bad about
Shut up until it's
Yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's going to be a while.
it. Yeah. Yeah. It will be.
Next up, Damiani, I know you wanted to dive into this. The Video Game History Foundation.
Yeah.
They did a study and put out a report on games released in the U.S. prior to 2010, finding that 87% of classic video games are unavailable.
So let's play them.
So,
Yeah. You wonder why
Let's play. We'll give you
people go,
money.
yo, I want to play this game. Publisher, how do I play it? Oh, nowhere?
Right.
And you wonder why people turn to emulation.
Yep.
You wonder why people turn to emulation.
Yep. Giving us no
This was
choice.
great because they have data now.
Yeah.
It's like everyone kind of like knew this, but it's like we can now point to a study and say, here you go. So people will take it more seriously. Maybe studios, publishers will take this a little bit more seriously. Oh, yeah, I guess, maybe we should look at our back catalogs and see if there's demand there for that. I mean, so like even obvious stuff. Like how many times have you asked for like the Resident Evil classics to come back out? I mean,
Those classics.
yeah, it's like stuff like that. It's just like
Where's
obvious
the
stuff.
rest of that Onimusha series?
right.
Let's get those.
And then the ones that just become like their collector status because they've never been reprinted. So if you do want to try and be like legal, completely legal, it's like how many hundreds to potentially thousands of dollars are you gonna have to spend just to play a game? And it's insane.
Oh my God. Yeah. Some
Yeah,
of like the
it's
retro
insane.
market
Yeah.
is insanely expensive.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how much Zack and Wiki is. That feels like a rare game,
Oh.
Brad.
I don't. Someone said it's not rare.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that rare.
But it's probably still close to the range of like when it was new.
yeah, like retro games are just going up.
$12.
$12.
Oh,
okay,
really?
nice.
That's more than I thought. I thought it
Hey.
would have been like $5.
I thought it was
back in the day.
60 or something.
Yeah.
It ranges from 9 to 25, but yeah.
Sick.
9 to 25 is a good
First
range.
one I saw was
That's what I like to
$12.
hear. I don't want it to be rare.
Yeah, retro games been going up in price.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been like higher demand for that. People, reselling them. I can't tell you how many like local shops post on social media, hey, we got some new like retro games.
$200.
Always Pokemon games. $200.
Yeah.
Every like all the
Yeah.
old Pokemon
Yeah.
games. Like, and the more they got with them, it's like just keep adding on that cost.
Dude.
And then you see like some random like third-party game, $20.
All those Sega Saturn games, man. Saturn,
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, Saturn in particular.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that's crazy about it to me is like there's always that like invisible moment where like the switch just kind of flips from like these are a bunch of games that are like sitting in the bargain bin for like $3-4, and then all of a sudden like nope,
become
that
rare.
game's $80 now. Like when did that happen? Like why can't I get this all of a sudden?
This I feel like this happens like
Isla,
happens
how much
several
for
times.
Simpsons Hit and Run, Isla?
Okay.
I don't think that was that bad.
Yeah, that's a multi-plat one, too.
Well, what were you gonna say, Damiani?
But I mean, yeah, like how many times do you think back to when you like had access to like games from older generations? It's like so easy to get them, and like 20 years later, it's like shit. What did I like? You're like, why didn't I hold one more?
Sold it to
copy?
GameStop
Yeah,
for $10.
yeah, exchange. Yeah, traded that in for dumb credit.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, that's the
Hit
thing.
and run, I'm seeing from 40 to 150.
That seems right.
Wow.
That is a big one. That is a big one.
But actually, yeah, Damiani, I never fell for that thing. There was one time.
Blood never.
There was one time where like I brought in some games, like games that I didn't even care about, right? Like just stuff that like I had gotten for reviews or whatever,
Yeah.
like GameCube games, and I like brought a stack of them in to GameStop, and I like asked how much they were gonna give me, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no, this is worth more
Oh,
as
yeah.
something as a joke or something down the road. I think Dark and Sky probably was one of those games.
There you
Nice.
go.
We've got way more out of that than I would have gotten out of GameStop.
There was a
Suffering.
Thank you for that blood.
Got out of it.
there were like game trading sites. So like yeah, like trade-ins like GameStop always seemed like kind of, crappy. Like you weren't getting a good value on that. Maybe when they had like a deal around like a new launch of something, you could kind of like get your money's worth or close to it. But yeah, there was like a trading site, I forget what started with a G. And yeah, like it was just any person who was offering to trade, it would try and match you up with them.
Cool.
And assign point values to your game. So once you traded it to the place, they gave you points, and then you could spend those points on another game, and did that a lot. So I'd like go through like
When
a bunch
was
of
this?
Jeopardy, like the 2000 between 2008 and 2014
Oh, okay. Interesting.
era. Yeah, they were shutting down, so it was like, oh crap, like cash in all your points fast, because it didn't seem like it was probably gonna be
Yeah.
sustainable. But yeah, like even game trading stuff, like I don't know how like prevalent that is now, because it's so valuable to maybe just look at your old game and be like, yo, can I just get more money for this, selling it like on eBay or Amazon or
Was it Goozex or
there you go,
GameTZ?
the first one.
Goozex.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. It had like a
I remember that
gecko.
name.
Thank you, Red Sky.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I got some things here from the press release on the report, as well as from Ars Technica, who did a good article on it. But one of the plans is to take this to the study to new arguments that are being held next year at the U.S. Copyright Office in terms of like copyright
heck
law and stuff like that.
Here we go.
They said games before 1985 are practically non-existent. It's like 2.6% of them are available or something like that.
Crazy. Shout out to those arcade archives that they always release
Yeah,
like, piecemeal.
Hamster's been doing those. Yeah,
Those can be expensive, $8 sometimes for one, 30-minute game, but still amazing.
Yeah.
Like so many good ones in there.
here's a good quote from them. For accessing nearly 9 in 10 classic games, there are few options. Seek out and maintain vintage collectible games and hardware. Travel across the country to visit a library. Or piracy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what you got. And so, like, calling out, the outdated copyright laws, like I said, that prevent libraries from doing their jobs.
Yeah.
So they say that libraries and archives can digitally preserve, but not digitally share video
There it is.
games, and can provide them on-premises access only.
Yep.
And this is not true for books and film and audio. Like, they don't have this same limitation on them. And so, if you're a researcher or somebody is like, because games take so much longer to go through, it's like, okay, well, this library across the country has this thing that I need to check out, but because there's not a way to access it digitally, I have to plan a trip and fly out there and spend a week there playing this game at the library and arrange childcare and all this stuff. And and that's for like a professional researcher, and like
Yeah.
if you're just an average Joe that just wants to check out a game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
They also brought up for like professors and stuff to where like if you're in a class, and they want to assign stuff for you to study like you would in like film school or whatever, like they don't have very many options because
How are you gonna play it?
how are you
Yeah.
gonna give them access?
Dang.
And the schools and stuff don't want to like deal with fuzzy fair use emulation law and all that kind of thing. So,
Well, shout out to the study. Hopefully, it like
Yeah.
moves the needle. People take notice. Like preservation has been a big conversation in the last couple years. So hopefully, we get
Yeah.
there somehow.
And they do
It just feels like it's too disparate, though. Like too many companies, too many systems, too many. There's not like one universal area where like I guess you're saying like the library, but then like you're losing sales. Like if
Well, that's-
Capcom wants to remaster something old Resident Evils or like some old
But that kind of goes to what's being said here is
Yeah.
that they acknowledge that like there isn't necessarily a viable commercial market
Yeah.
for publishers to repackage and resell most of these things. So that's why like libraries and archivists and stuff
Yeah.
need more of these tools. And they said instead, the commercial industry and cultural institutions must work together to fix the future of game preservation.
live together or die alone.
Yeah. From the Commodore 64, 95.5% of titles are currently out of print.
Wow.
I was just reading about one Blood the Running Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Commodore 64 Running Man beat 'em up video game.
Yeah.
That I need to play.
But you see, like,
probably never
But that
will.
kind of explains why, like, whenever I see like a Commodore 64 collection, it's just like, I don't know these games. I've never heard of these games. It's just like some handful of games that they like have the rights to publish in a bundle or whatever.
This is kind of interesting to me because, like, for a while, I guess everyone was always saying, "Oh, everything going digital only will be horrible for preservation." But this example of like everything was physical back then, and it's still horribly preserved.
Right.
And
Well, it's like they exist and libraries and stuff have them, but this is like more about the availability
right,
to the
right,
average
right.
person.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation 2, how much you want to guess that number is?
Is available.
Out of print.
Oh, out of print?
How many PS2 games out of print? I'm gonna say like
82%?
42%.
88%.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
That seems recent. It's not really that recent, but
That
it
is
seems
nuts.
recent. Yeah.
How much for F-Zero GX, Isla? Last one. Gotta know. Last one.
They say the 13% of legacy games that are currently in print is comparable to the availability of much older pre-World War II music recordings.
60 to 80.
Dang, blood.
Yeah. So they're showing just like how like bad the situation is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they may also make a big point about stating that like you're saying like just getting things on hardware is becoming less and less viable because now like not only do you have to spend this kind of crazy amount of money, but you also have to have working hardware.
Right.
Which like I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, like my NES really doesn't work. I've got to play here and there. My Dreamcast doesn't work.
I mean, it'll eventually get to the point
Yeah.
where like synthesizers are, where it's like the vintage machines from the 70s that are like more rare. Like there's like a guy who can fix them.
Right.
Like on the entire planet Earth.
Yeah, it's like I want to get my GameCube fixed at some point, but A, I have to have the cash to do that, and B, I have to find somebody that's trustworthy that could actually
Right.
diagnose and figure out what the heck needs to be replaced, whether it's just the disk drive or whether like all the freaking I forget what it was, like the recaps, the capacitors. I think probably need
Flux
to be
capacitors?
no, just
Yes.
regular capacitors.
Got it.
But I think those,
If they flux,
at a
flux,
certain
that's when they're
point,
broken.
yeah, at a certain point, those need to be replaced on any kind of circuit board, And I think that my GameCube that's probably one of the issues. I also think that the simple thing is that there's like a little watch battery in there that needs to be replaced too. Could maybe be tied to some of the other things, but again, GameCube's not even that old.
Yeah.
Right.
But you have more issues with like disk-based systems. And then let's see. Here's a quote here from Ars Technica. As for trolling eBay for samples of classic games, we're starting to exit the period where they're easy or accessible for the average person to play. Between the rising price of games and hardware's collectible items and the specialized skills needed to set up and maintain obsolete hardware, you could be looking at hundreds of dollars and a serious time investment to get access to, for instance, a single Nintendo 64 game if you don't already have it.
Yeah.
Well, and also with these like weird auction houses, like scamming people and making people pay $1 million for whatever, you know, like weirding out the market.
There's
on top of this.
definitely some controversy going on with those auctions.
Yeah.
And
Supply and demand. It's
and
just
they-
like people want to stream those old games too, and I think scalpers know that. Is like, yo, this is a game that like is valuable to the streaming community,
But the thing
or
with
just
the
like the
auctions-
video game community in
the auctions
general.
are weird because it's like those are the people that don't want to open anything.
Yeah.
So it's like
Collectors
this is the
only.
perfect box that doesn't have any
Yeah.
kind of smudges or wrinkles or anything.
That stuff, yeah. So multiple markets.
And then they also called out the recent closure of the 3DS and Wii U eShops,
Yeah.
which wiped out market access to hundreds
Thanks,
of classic
Nintendo.
games.
Thanks
I
so
mean,
much.
Thanks for Nintendo for doing that to begin with, because at least like I've got a bunch of those. But
True, they gave a lot of warning, and you could download them ahead of time.
yeah, you
right?
could.
Or-
I think you can still download them right now, but you
Perfect.
can't buy them.
Okay.
So that's the
Fair
that's the
enough.
weird
Fair
trick.
enough. Everybody had
And if you have
time.
any kind of weird like
Yeah.
repair thing with your system because it's tied to the system ID or whatever, you like there's not an account. Like I can't like download those on another
So if
Wii
that
U.
system dies.
Yeah, then I'm out of luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tight
Because
rope.
even with the files, they won't work on another Wii U unless you crack them somehow.
Brutal, dude.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Has Nintendo commented on this?
No, Nintendo is not.
No.
They did also talk about PS3 is weird right now too.
Oh yeah.
Because they're
So
saying,
processor.
well, no, like
Holding us back.
so all those of us who have like our catalog and stuff on the PS3, like there's weird. Number one, there's weird ways of like just being able to add funds to your account, but I guess now like new PSN accounts can't access the PS3 shop or
Oh,
something
really?
like that. Yeah,
That's annoying.
Oh.
it's really strange.
Damn. That sucks.
Yeah.
So all of those PlayStation 1 games that they did similarly.
So many good games that we just
So
can't play.
Yeah. And we just need more of that
I
kind
know.
of program where like that PS1 classics and the virtual console were perfect.
Freaking. They were doing it for a minute, and then they just went radio silent and stopped. Shu was the champion of the hashtag PS2 to PS4 and putting those like old PS2
Right.
like games on PS4, like remastering them, like Mark of Cree and shit like that. And they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a steady drop of this," and then it just stopped. Done.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
who knows what's going on
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I would love to see more of that kind of thing for sure. But the good news, we got a limited run games showcase this week.
Oh.
And
This thing was out of control secretly.
This is, yeah, because I wasn't even really, like, I think I kind of vaguely knew it was coming up, but I didn't, like, I wasn't watching for it. And one of the reasons is, like, these are always, like, super awkward to try to react to because half the time it's not immediately clear, like, is this game out and you're just
Yeah.
making a physical version
Yeah,
of it?
yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
what is the story?
yeah,
Like, so a
exactly.
lot of the time it's, like, really...
Which is a game announcement.
Yeah, so it's a little easier to like process after the fact. But with this one,
It was very funny while you were watching this, Blood. I was talking about this with Don. Like, Blood kept posting things in our Slack, but he hadn't given context. So like, he just kept posting like random insane things that we'll get into.
yeah,
And then like at one point he said something crazy, and then he was just like, "What is this showcase, man?" And I almost responded like, "No, but literally, what is this? What are you talking about?"
Right,
I was
yeah.
like, "I don't know what showcase this is. What are you doing?"
well, and what was funny though is that for the most part, like these things kind of came out like people were making separate headlines about one announcement or another announcement, and so I would see this thing happen or that thing happen. But like I couldn't find like a summary of like what all did they show at this. So I eventually just broke down and like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this thing. The
started
showcase,
crying?
the showcase itself was definitely like going Devolver directions. Really bizarre presentation. So it starts off looking at the convention center just completely empty with like leaves blowing in the wind and stuff because there's no E3. And so he goes back to E3 1995. And they like show actually some snippets of like the old Nintendo
Nice.
Sony press conferences and
Nice.
stuff. And has a limited run games showcase in 1995 with blurry footage and everything. But at the same time, they play on the Back to the Future gag, and he's got a photo of the convention center. Like an empty front of the convention center. And the further he gets into the showcase, the more of a crowd starts appearing in front of it and a sign that
he's trying to
says
say
E3
E3?
2023 in front of it.
That's kind of awesome.
That is good.
But then by the end, it's like, we did it. We saved E3. E3 2023 happened. E3 2024 is going to happen next year. But then he started disappearing. Because he
real
created
life?
a time paradox. If,
All right, because he never would have gone
if it
back.
had happened, he would have
Yeah.
never went back in time.
That's funny.
So some of these I'm going to skim over because they're just announcements of physical versions, or they didn't have a lot of detail. But then some of them we'll get into. So Castlevania Advance Collection.
Yeah.
So physical Switch and
There's
PS4.
like 4 different boxes for that too.
Yeah.
Looks sick.
Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition.
Rise of the Triad.
Getting a physical version.
Yeah, that is a like.
You talked about it last week, yeah.
Yeah, because they did like a remake like 10 years ago. So I think this is kind of celebrating the remake, but I think it's the original version of the game, but I'm not 100% sure. But
Yeah. This is a new thing that's
Yeah.
coming out this month, but then
Cool.
they're doing the physical version.
Cool.
Komajo Ramelia Scarlet Symphony.
Yes.
I don't know this game at all. They say it's a legendary Toho action game. It looks very Castlevania-like, but then it's also got like shooting and stuff going on there. Kyukyoku Tiger Heli Toplan Arcade Garage. It's got Twin Cobra and a bunch of other like top-down shooters and stuff from Toplan, who is like a Japanese arcade game maker.
Cool.
But then the first one, this is the first one I heard about this, so we can start rolling this. The Making of Karateka. And I want to know if anyone on this panel is familiar with Karateka before this.
No.
No. And that is why this is a perfect freaking thing. So this game, this is coming from Digital Eclipse and my friend Chris Kohler, who's been working there. He's actually been working on this since he started working there. This is the game that Jordan Mechner made before Prince of Persia.
Oh. Okay.
And so pioneering all of these techniques, doing all of this rotoscoping, like he was into karate. And so he came home and started working on this. And then they started like home video, like shooting moves and stuff to then
Awesome.
draw over and animate. And this game is called The Making of Karateka. And it's very similar to the Atari 50 collection, to where it's like an interactive
Good collection.
documentary.
Cool.
And so it's like not just throwing the game at you without
Love that
context. It's
blood.
giving you all the stories. It's showing you like sketches of like the logo design and like all of these
incredible.
different things. They talked to his dad, who like made the music for it.
Oh, that's sick.
And like a lot of this stuff has actually
Dude.
come from like his dad's apartment and stuff. And so like a lot of like lost things that they thought were completely lost, they found there. So this was like one of the first games to have like cinematic storytelling and fluid animation. It was back on the Apple IIe. They're gonna have 4 playable versions, including a new remaster. There's pixel perfect versions of the original Karateka games, plus a variety of never before seen early prototypes with rich quality of life features like save anywhere, rewind, chapter select, and director's commentary. 2 remastered games, Karateka Remastered, an all-new adaptation of the original featuring cutting room floor content, commentary, and achievements, and Death Bounce Rebounded, a fast and frantic twin-stick shooter based on Jordan's unpublished prototype.
Cool.
So another disc he had laying around that he thought was just completely lost. It's like, let's
awesome.
throw that in there too. So the first seeds of this project started back when Chris Kohler was at Wired. He used to be the head of games coverage at Wired magazine, and he had somebody working on a story of people that were working to like recover the Prince of Persia source code, and then some of this stuff started popping up, and then. Trying to think. Oh, and then recently, he said even recently, beyond like stuff that's going to make it into this, they found like a bunch of cassette tapes. So before he had a disk drive, he had a bunch of stuff that he'd worked on cassette. which is like old school PC stuff that I'd never even gotten into. Is like games on cassette. But yeah, so this is coming to PlayStation and Switch, and again, what's crazy is just like watching the trailer to see how important and influential this game was to so many people and to so many game designers, and for me to have no idea that this game even existed.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it, Blood.
Yeah. Up next, 9 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles soundtracks from the Cowabunga collection.
So sweet.
They're going to be available on vinyl, CD, and cassette.
Nice.
Dude.
They're doing a remastered version of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3
Oh,
3.
sick. That's a good one.
Nice.
for the Switch.
3's cool.
Yeah.
For the Switch only?
Yeah, it looks like it at the moment, yeah. They teased 2 all-new retro games based on 2 of the most popular cartoons from the 90s.
Street Sharks.
Baby.
Oh,
Street Sharks.
It's
Gargoyles.
completely vague.
well, we just don't actually know.
We just don't know. They're working with the guys at the Mix, you know, the indie group.
Biker Mice from Mars.
But that could also be anybody, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we'll see.
Quadruple I Street Sharks game.
Tiny Toons.
Quadruple
New DuckTales
I.
game.
I don't know if any of you guys have played it. It was like a favorite of like Ryan and Justin and Patrick. But El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron,
I never played it.
So-
HD remaster
How
coming
much
to
is that?
Switch.
Oh, I guess it's not going to be worth anything then.
I reviewed
have that
game
game.
trailers.
Oh, you reviewed it?
Yeah, I reviewed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
This game looks bonkers.
Game's
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool. Yeah. They. What was the version that came out before, in between, on PC, right?
Yeah, I think
I
there
have it
was
on
another
PS3.
port or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So this is just
Yeah, this is a Switch version, physical version, yeah.
cool.
Sweet.
Physical, nice.
That's cool. Hidden gem right there.
Play this one.
Not many of those left around these parts.
Yeah.
Dungeons of
2023.
Ether. This actually, they're making a Switch physical version. This game actually came out on Steam in
is
February,
this?
but I
Whoa.
missed it entirely. So it's dungeon crawling, turn-based RPG, but like you've got like top-down kind of explorations, sort of Zelda-looking maps, but I don't know quite exactly like what to compare the maps to.
What's the badger's name? Kohler.
And then yeah, you've got like all of these like animal characters, but the battle
It's a lot of
sequences.
stats.
Yeah, it's a lot going on there. Really busy.
It's a lot of
Freaking me
animation
out.
and stuff. Though.
Yeah, the animation's crazy.
Yeah.
I think what's on the
like
top
Fire
is there's like a
Looks
dice
sick.
roll mechanic going
rolling
on.
dice right there.
So I think like what you get might have to do with the dice roll, but somebody out there's probably already played it.
Looks
It
fun.
it looked cool. I didn't know about it. It's getting a physical version soon.
Cool.
There's a cool shark character in there.
Yeah.
The next one is super
Oh,
cool.
shit.
Shantae Advance Risky Revolution.
Wow.
This game has been sitting unfinished for like 2 decades.
Whoa.
Wow.
So they did Shantae on the Game Boy
There's
Color.
so many. Why is this one
This
like
was their like. Wasn't this their original?
I don't know.
pitch
They said
game or
they
something?
Wild.
said they couldn't have done this without limited run, basically
Wow.
publishing. So after the first Shantae came out, it got rave reviews on Game
Yeah,
Boy Color,
so many
but it
of them.
didn't sell very well at all. And so they were working on this Game Boy Advance game, but they couldn't get a publisher to put it out and to agree to what they would need in terms of like cartridge size and save battery and all that kind of stuff. And so it sat around unfinished. But what's crazy is the craziest part to me is that like you're saying the next Shantae game they worked on, like it was just the next game. Like this is actually a missing chapter in the story.
Yeah, that's why I never got
Like,
into
a lot
it.
of these characters met each other and stuff.
I remember talking to Ben a lot about this franchise because it looked so awesome to me and I wanted to get in. And eventually I did go in, but I didn't finish it. But the main barrier was like they're all connected. One of them starts out with like a villain of the previous one, like doing some crazy shit. I'm like, what is even going on right now? Yeah. So that's funny.
And they showed a little bit in the trailer, but there's something in there too, some mechanic where you're like shifting layers of the world around. I don't exactly understand all of that, but
Cool.
really cool. It is coming out on a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice.
It has link cable support, so where like you can play it with
yeah.
friends, like with only one copy of the game. You
That's
get
fun.
4 Game Boys together.
Oh my God.
Cool.
That's really cool.
And they specifically said it's like, yeah, it's better now than if they had released it when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
originally planned
for sure.
to, because they've been able to put that time in.
Yeah,
That
that's,
is
that's,
so
that's really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Will there be a digital version of that or no? This is
Holy
just.
I think they probably will
I
be.
Okay.
assume
Yeah.
there will be.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Chicory is getting physical copies on Switch and PlayStation.
Sweet.
Chicory.
A game called Odin Cat's Paradise Collection is getting a Switch physical version.
Odin Cat.
And then this one for Damiani. Play this.
What's this?
RZ, the Jewel of Faramore. Look at the name of this company.
That's CDI.
It is
Philips CDI.
CDI software.
That is good.
SEEDY.
Okay. Someone's just making the CDI
This
Zelda
is
games?
I was like, this is the game that's inspired by that, right?
It's a spiritual successor to the Zelda
Okay, it's
game
going to actually play
on
well
CDI.
out.
It probably plays much
Yeah,
better.
well, it actually has good gameplay.
Man,
This
it's
was
funny.
This is great.
Yeah. So it has a sort of
What a
similar art style in the cutscenes, and then like this weird
say.
side
The
scroller stuff.
Pretty genius.
That's really funny.
And this is coming to all platforms.
Man,
so watch out for it.
If only they. I want this, but I wish they also could just re-release the CDI.
Oh my God,
games
yeah.
Officially, that would be
Nintendo
so
would
sick.
never.
But yeah, so this is the first of a couple
Link,
of,
my
like,
boy.
spiritual successor games that they've got
Let's
in
go
there,
bomb
and it's
some
just so
dongos.
wild.
Yeah, that is wild.
Wait,
cool though.
Those.
They've got voices in there that are maybe the voices in the
Those are
original
voice.
game.
That's the voice of Zelda. I thought from the CDI.
it?
I think.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They just got them for this. Okay.
That's awesome.
Coming this year.
That's neat. That's cool.
They talked about plumbers don't wear ties again. He even said,
Yo.
"You're probably rolling your eyes because we're announcing this game for the third time."
Oh man.
But it does have a release date for September 2023.
Oh, sick. I'm excited for that. I've always wanted to play that.
Yeah, all platforms, full audio commentary, documentary footage, and then new features and stuff.
That's funny.
This one, I don't know.
this?
This just stuck out to me. This Way Madness Lies.
Zaboy.
I'm listening.
Yeah, this is like a magical girl RPG.
Wait.
It's pretty cool looking. It's like a blend somewhere between like Sailor Moon and Power Rangers.
Whoa.
Art style.
Yeah. Looks like it's got like a turn-based system and stuff going on. And it's got a banger song. I'm sorry that you can't hear the song right now. That's probably what got my attention the first off, is that song. Switch coming digital in a couple of weeks, July 25th.
Oh, okay.
And then
Physical later.
PS5 and physical later. Came
looks
out in
like
Steam in November, so it is already out on Steam.
Kind of looks like RPG Maker there a little bit.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah,
bit.
there might be. It might have
Okay.
started
bit.
off as that. But
Looks cute, though.
Neko Dragon? A
Yeah.
cat dragon? Okay.
Huber, Midnight Fight Express getting physical.
Nice,
Switch and
nice.
PlayStation versions.
Nice.
Colossal Cave getting physical.
Ah.
Another Crusade, which is they said it's inspired by Super Mario RPG, coming this fall. This next one is one of the first ones that I saw. Rose and Camellia is getting a
forward.
collection. If you do not know about this game, it is hilarious. It started off as a Japanese Flash game, whole series of games inspired by Jane Austen with just like these women slapping each other. And it's got
I've heard of this.
It's got Joy-Con support, so like motion control
Oh, man.
slapping. This is coming
Hitachi.
from WayForward. These were originally by a Japanese company called Nigoro. There's 5 games in there with more than 30 characters, all new English voice work. It's going to come later this year or early next year. Using either immersive Joy-Con motion controls or touchscreen swipes, players will smack some respect into their aristocratic adversaries
Holy shit.
by slapping, dodging, feinting, and countering until only one heiress is left standing.
Full playthrough, dude.
Yeah, and there's a
Full playthrough.
2-player local versus mode as well.
Attack, dude.
Parrying slaps.
That's funny.
This dialogue.
It is pretty good. And another one where you need to see it with like full sound up to fully appreciate.
Good slap sounds.
Oh yeah. Gargoyles remastered. We didn't see anything.
Gargoyles.
I think they announced this a while ago.
Coming fall 2023,
We
Switch,
didn't see it,
PlayStation, and
though,
Xbox.
We didn't
What?
we didn't get to see
Yeah.
it though. Okay.
More details still coming
Okay.
soon.
We're waiting to see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Double Shake, roll this one.
Double shake.
This is inspired by games like Mischief Makers, very clearly.
Dude, Mischief Makers.
Wait.
Klonoa and Tomba.
Shake, shake.
And yeah, it's like 2.5D
this is so
kind of
Klonoa,
game.
yeah.
Very PS1 looking graphics there.
Looks cool.
Yo, let's play Mischief Makers. How much is that game?
I think
That's-
I have it still.
Oh,
How
you
much,
have it?
Isla?
Yeah,
Mischief
I have it.
Makers.
Yeah, what is the
Checking.
price on Mischief
Maybe we'll get
Makers?
it on a Switch Online service someday.
I remember I bought it and beat it real fast. And I was like, oh, it's over. already.
Damn it.
Yeah.
40-ish or
40, okay.
12 sometimes.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay.
So Simpsons Hit and Run is the big ticket item.
So far. Big ticket. We're getting into the big ticket items now, though. This is where we're getting big ticket on this showcase.
Big ticket.
Clock Tower.
Clock
Tower,
Tower,
yeah.
First time getting a U.S. release, coming from WayForward, early 2024, all platforms.
Number 1 never came out here? Is that right?
Never came out
So
here.
am I thinking of 2 then?
I don't know.
Because one of them was like weird
I think
gameplay.
the PS1 ones?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's translated now. It's got an all-new animated intro. This was originally on the Super Famicom.
just remember
and
Hedge
they
Clipper again.
showing this. They're talking about the Carbon engine. This is when they introduced the Carbon engine because a lot of these games are going to be coming through the Carbon engine. And this is something that they developed that is going to allow them to easily port some of these
Nice.
classic games
Oh.
over with
Sweet.
a lot less headache.
Oh man, like every horror game has come back in like
Yeah.
a very meaningful way. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Next is like D
Yeah.
and D2.
Dude, I want to play D so bad.
Dude,
I've never
sick.
played it.
And D2 on Dreamcast was like unrelated, but like same people, I think.
Yeah.
Limited Run
Awesome.
said that they were putting D out, and I just don't know if that's ever come out.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the other thing that's sometimes hard with limited
Yeah,
run
they
is
just-
like keeping track of like when did it come out, when is it coming out?
Yeah.
Because a lot of their dates are just like when you can pre-order them.
Yeah, and like you said, like
Whoa.
they'll just announce a thing, and it's like, okay, is this?
There
Are you
it
doing
is.
this? Is
Yep.
it a remaster? What is?
Yeah,
it?
he's in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Clock Tower looks sick.
Yeah.
Huber, you're crazy.
I
But-
like one of them. One of them I didn't like at all.
Mm.
One of them I really love.
But they they have like a whole little documentary thing talking about all of them working on it and what it means to them and stuff. So it's pretty
Sick.
cool. The next big boy, the Jurassic Park collection. This is also
yeah.
coming on the Carbon engine. This has the NES game,
Here we go, Don.
the Game Boy game,
Wow.
the Super NES game, and the second Super NES game that I
Dude,
forgot
that's
about.
the run and gun one.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah, that
the
one's
chaos
sick.
continues.
Yeah, it's like Contra, dude. Running gun.
So no Genesis version?
No Genesis for
Oh,
whatever
ouch.
reason.
I like the Genesis.
Yeah, what is that about? What's that slander, blood?
It's probably a different publisher, I would guess.
Yeah, there it is, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Same
the
vibe.
Genesis one in here? Or no?
No Genesis.
No
version.
Genesis. That hurts.
This is coming to all modern platforms.
That's a slight against
They're
us,
also
Isla.
re-releasing NES, Game Boy, and Super NES cartridges for this one.
sick.
That's funny.
And then yeah, so it's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Next up, Tomba.
Yes.
Tomba.
I'm excited for this
Tell
one.
me about Tomba because this is a franchise.
Tomba.
They just gave us like the pre-rendered cutscene, but yeah, what do you?
So
what is
Blood,
this about?
it's a PlayStation era platformer. I've barely played this series.
Okay.
And it's been gone for so long, but Tomba is finally coming back. Shout out to my friend Dustin Furman, big fan. But it's great. Tomba's been like just missing in action for so long. They're really good platformers from what I've heard of.
I feel like they brought it back on something a while ago, but maybe it's like those other
Well,
like
no one
PlayStation
remembers it.
classics where it's,
So,
like it's
yeah.
stuck on the PS3 or something.
But it's like a new release of Tomba, like a game I didn't think we would see again ever.
Yeah,
It's finally coming back. It's great to see.
Everything comes back, Brian.
yeah. Also on the Carbon engine. Also coming to PlayStation, Switch, and PC.
Yeah.
They didn't show.
Tomba
Yeah.
feels like the
Oh, we-
Gohan in being watched by Piccolo
Yeah.
part.
I always think of the AMPM mascot when I think,
Hmm.
Tomba.
AMPM?
So like
mascot?
big,
The mascot?
like the like
I never knew
Cheeto
that.
guy. He's got like the Cheeto
I can't
and like
remember.
Tomba's got good vibes.
Yeah. But I maybe missed it when you're looking something up. But yeah, the Carbon engine is something that Limited Run's got going right now. That it's coming from Modern Vintage Gamer in Australia, and it's basically an engine that like allows them to port over games to modern platforms more easily.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably like some kind of emulation container
that
or
to
something. I
Capcom.
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Nintendo.
And
Sounds
then,
like some kind of like counterfeit machine.
the finale, the Gex trilogy.
This is funny.
Yes.
coming.
So wow.
To everything. Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Also on the Carbon engine. Yeah, you might as well play it because this is a really quick teaser.
I don't remember Gex being good.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I actually do not think that
Gex
it is.
Yeah.
rules.
Which one's Enter the Gecko? Is that the second one?
I think that's 2.
That's the one I've played. It was a 3D platformer. The first one was 2D, from what I remember. But it was okay at the time.
Okay.
He's very quippy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Gex.
Yeah, but it's all about that kind of. It's kind of like Conquer.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
exactly.
meta.
Yeah, it's this parody kind of thing. Yeah.
Big parody thing.
I'm
but-
sure they're horrible.
Yeah, they're probably not very good nowadays, but it's cool it's coming back, I guess.
Gex.
But there we go. You know, we got issues with classic games not being available, and then we got
We got some coming back.
limited run helping
Thank
to make
you,
these
Limited
come,
Run Games.
including
doing work.
games that we thought were lost,
That's really cool.
games that
Yeah.
that were unfinished.
I don't know if you have it in also this week, but the stuff like this wasn't part of limited run, but Master Chief Collection update.
Oh no, I didn't
Getting
hear
the
about it.
like E3 Halo demo, getting like the Apple demo, like all these classic demo versions.
in the Master Chief
Master Chief Collection.
Wow.
Do you see that? Yeah. I was
Stand
like,
down.
What the hell?
Stand
Dude.
down. What are you talking about?
Good day
What?
for great game preservation.
That
Did they just-
sounds
Did
awesome.
they just put it out, or did they say they're working on them?
I think they're working on chat. Do you have a link for Isla maybe?
That's cool.
That is
I'll be on my
excellent.
phone the whole time looking
Yeah, the
for
DS version on there.
it. The DS version?
That's really cool.
All right, we got more news to come. But if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Oftentimes in life, there are choices we have to make where we feel very uncertain. Happens all the time. Do you stay in a relationship? Do you get a new car? Do you leave your job? Do you transition? Do you come out? Anything, whatever. And these are tough choices, and going through them alone is hard, and the path is not always clear. So whether you're dealing with any kind of choice, a therapist can help you can help you decide, how to choose. I actually talk about this with my therapist all the time because I suffer from choice paralysis for sure. I don't know what to do a lot of the times. I hem and haw on big choices. I drastically prefer when things are chosen for me. Like being fired, no problem. Choosing to leave something, I'll stew on it forever, That kind of stuff is great to talk with a therapist for. And I've benefited from that. And if you think you might, you should check out BetterHelp.com. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire, and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge, which is important. It's not one size fits all. Get a good therapist that matches with you. Let your therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/allies today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/allies. Do you hear that sound? That's the sound of a sale you're missing out on because you're not selling on Shopify. What does it sound like with Shopify? That's much better. Start selling with Shopify today. What is Shopify, you ask? Well, that's easy. Shopify is a commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. Whether you're a garage entrepreneur or IPO ready, Shopify is the only tool you need to start, run, and grow your business without the struggle. Shopify puts you in control of every sales channel. So whether you're selling satin sheets from Shopify's in-person POS system or offering organic olive oil on Shopify's all-in-one e-commerce platform, you're covered. And once you've reached your audience, Shopify has the internet's best converting checkout to help you turn them from browsers to buyers. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify's truly a global force, powering Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across over 170 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/allies to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/allies.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right, these things have been rapid fire all week long. There's probably something else that's going to happen before this goes up. But the FTC versus Microsoft case updates. FTC is down, but not out yet. On Tuesday, we got the verdict on that case that we were hearing. They were wanting a preliminary injunction to stop the merger from happening before their full case in August. The judge said no. The judge said no.
Nah.
And I got a quote here. Let's see. The court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail on its claim. This particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's like, sounds more like the FTC didn't do its job right. Like,
I mean, they didn't probably
prove
present their
that it
case.
because they couldn't prove,
they
couldn't
didn't
prove
prove
it.
that
Because
there's
like
enough
I
of a
don't
case.
like that statement. Like I don't know how allowing this merger to go through means like better access to Call of Duty though. Like I don't necessarily.
Well, no, because of the scrutiny on it, then these things, these other deals had to be made. These other deals with other cloud streaming services, the deals they made with Nintendo, the deal they offered to
so
Steam.
saying all the concessions had to happen.
Yeah, the concessions essentially now mean that now Call of Duty will be on more platforms, not less. So you
For
don't
10
really have
years.
an argument.
For 10 years.
So,
For
like,
10 years.
In a funny way, by trying to stop it, they forced it to do the thing that made them not able to stop it.
Right. Another note I got from the IGN coverage, one especially noteworthy segment of the ruling points out that despite going through nearly 1 million internal Xbox documents, the FTC was unable to identify a single document contradicting Microsoft's pledges to keep Call of Duty available.
It's all Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's just Call of Duty. That's it.
Everything.
Yeah, and the case is important because it sets precedents for video games for the industry that haven't really been established yet for like when these mergers happen in the future. So future judges will probably be looking to this case for guidance. Since that, almost immediately afterwards in the UK, Microsoft and the CMA decided to kind of go back to the negotiating table to see if there's anything that they can do there to try to work out a deal. And so they've asked the CAT to put a hold on that appeal case that's scheduled to happen later this month. However, then the CMA followed up and said, hey, we haven't made any, the decision now currently still stands. Any proposed remedies might require another investigation or whatever. So who knows?
Yeah.
The last holdout.
Whether that will make a difference or not, where that's at. Then on Wednesday, the FTC came back and said they are filing to appeal the verdict, hoping to extend the temporary restraining order past its current expiration Friday night. The decision on that appeal is due to happen tomorrow, of course.
Of course.
But it seems unlikely that will go through.
Yeah, it's looking unlikely.
They also asked the judge to extend it, and she was like, no.
Yeah. Nope.
However, of course, the FTC still has their case coming up in August. Even if the deal does go through, there is the potential that they could be forced to separate after the fact if the FTC somehow wins their case. But considering this judge's ruling, it doesn't appear that has enough grounds to stand on. And then another thing that happened today is Activision Blizzard will be removed from the listed indexes of the NASDAQ stock exchange due to the Microsoft acquisition being deemed highly probable.
Highly
probable.
Highly
Yeah.
probable.
So if this happens, they can't do it on Friday because the restraining order is still in effect.
Straining.
So it would have to happen on
Sounds so
Monday or
intense.
Tuesday, because Tuesday is the deadline for the deal. If they don't do it by Tuesday, they either have to renegotiate or they have to pay Activision $3 billion.
When is that deadline for $3 billion? This Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So does that mean that
$3 billion.
literally they're going to acquire them on Tuesday?
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday,
Monday or
it
Tuesday,
could go
yeah.
finish.
This is nuts.
Just to be clear,
Yeah.
there's no more appeals or anything.
There are appeals
Okay.
happening.
No, but I mean, if they
so,
don't.
like, the appeal
What if-
right now,
Can an
there's
appeal-
appeal pending for tomorrow morning
Okay.
that the court might reinstate some kind of temporary restraining order. kind of
Basically,
thing.
my question is, can they delay the $3 billion payment anymore?
That I don't. That is
Like if no-
some other business aspect that I don't know whether like that's essentially like that's you walked away fee.
That's
Yeah.
the kill clause. Like,
Yeah.
kill clause.
Yeah.
It's like you put us through all of this
Yeah.
and then you didn't pay up.
Yeah.
So you owe us $3 billion.
Okay.
So they may
All eyes on
not
that.
have to pay that if they renegotiate a deal, but that probably involves the board and all of this kind of
Okay.
stuff. Who
Okay.
knows?
Okay. Okay.
I
God. Oh my
did
God.
reach out to our friend Rick Hogue, Hogue Law, who has been a longtime patron, also has been recovering from a stroke for the past few months.
Yeah.
So all of our best wishes out
Absolutely.
to Rick for that.
Back in the saddle.
But yeah, he's been getting back into the swing of things, and we've got 2 questions and responses from Hogue on this whole case, which used to be kind of a like semi-regular thing.
Yeah.
When Kyle was hosting, he'd hit Hogue up
Yep.
for things. 1, how do you feel about the verdict based on the evidence that was given? All right, Hogue's response. Overall, I think the court got it right. The FTC spent far too much time arguing the console risk that Xbox would pull Call of Duty in particular off of Sony, when even the UK CMA dropped that as unlikely, given the amount of money the game makes from PlayStation sales. That left the FTC arguing silly things like the Switch not being a part of the relevant console market, because it does just fine without COD, and overall hurt their credibility. Now, given that both the UK and EU found potential problems for the cloud market, I think the court maybe dismissed the issue there a bit too quickly. But with the FTC not focused there, it simply matched the level of detail given to it.
Yeah.
So FTC is just barking up the wrong trees. Doesn't seem to understand
If they went with the cloud
industry.
angle, it might have
Yeah.
been better.
And that's something that a lot of people have said. Is like this judge, even though she wasn't intimately familiar with the industry before, she seems to have a better understanding of it than the FTC.
the FTC didn't seem to understand electricity. Like, they don't know what the hell's going on at all.
Yeah. Second thing I asked Hogue, does it look like the FTC has any chance of making a comeback in their main trial in August? And his response is, with the FTC currently appealing the preliminary injunction decision, we can expect Microsoft or Activision to request that the FTC's own action be dismissed if or when such appeal is lost or emergency relief extending the TRO is denied. Ordinarily, I would expect the FTC to dismiss their own case upon such request, but they are being unusually aggressive of late and may feel like they need to try to save face
They're invested.
more by continuing than by retreating. If they pursue it, I don't think they have a high likelihood of success, even in front of their own ALJ. The federal court didn't just find that the FTC wasn't likely to be able to show that the merger would hurt competition, but in fact that the merger appeared to be improving customer welfare. It went about as badly for the FTC as it could have.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I was curious, so I just looked it up. Globally, Microsoft employs around 534 lawyers. Just was curious.
Wow.
An actual army of lawyers.
Right?
Yeah, I
A
mean, they're one of the
battalion
biggest
of lawyers.
companies on the planet.
I don't know how many
Yeah.
are in a battalion.
More-
Yeah,
They have
'cause,
more-
like they have layoffs and stuff going on right
Yep.
now too.
Yep.
Which is a crazy thing.
They have more lawyers than people who registered for Mortal Kombat at Evo.
Yeah.
What a funny stat to bring up, but I like it.
A battalion is 1,000 soldiers, so it's
Oh.
half a battalion
Half a
of lawyers.
battalion. Half a battalion.
A company of lawyers.
Yeah.
So yeah, any other thoughts here on all this nonsense? We still have more.
I appreciate
Yeah.
the constant updates, Bloodworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been an odyssey. I feel like we need a Bloodworth cut of every time.
I
you
am not
brought-
the person to be talking
like
about
a documentary
That's why I'm asking
from
Hogue
when
questions.
Bloodworth
Yeah.
first started covering this to when it
Let's
ends.
get Daniel Dwyer to do it.
I was gonna say, I'm glad he reached out to Hogue to get info because this is like
Yeah.
what he does actually for a living, so it's good to get his perspective on it. It's not over till it's over, blood. Till the deal is signed or whatever. But it definitely seems like it's going in.
Yeah. Well, what
Microsoft's
sucks is
favor.
it's not really even over then because with this
Yes.
FTC case pending. But
Well,
yeah.
whenever. Yeah. Eventually, this will be over one way or another. But
Yeah.
it has been definitely a long time coming.
At this point, I'm going to brew some popcorn
Okay.
for Tuesday
You know
to
what?
see
I'm gonna
what.
brew some nachos.
Yeah, to see what goes down with this $3 billion. That's exciting.
Either way,
Yeah.
Bob's getting paid out. Fat.
The last note I want to make on all this, though, is despite the FTC probably being out of line legally, these mergers are still not great.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
It
That's
still all sucks, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Is like
Yeah.
I'm now, like, when this does go through, I'm worried how
Will the
what
floodgates
what
open?
like what happens next.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's probably gonna
Is
be like,
Sony gonna respond
yeah,
by buying
Sony
up
is gonna be
somebody?
like,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
been like, they feel very angry about this whole situation. Are they gonna try and make like an equally
But
like?
that's the thing, Damiani. I think one of the things with this trial is like, is Sony's anger even legitimate? Like
Right.
Oh,
some of
yeah.
those
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
Jim Ryan reactions that came out were like, oh, he doesn't really care. But now that like, okay, we have opportunities to stop this from happening. Let's make our case to the different governing bodies, et cetera, et cetera.
Let me rephrase it.
Yeah.
As people who do like, CEOs, execs, high level business people, what they really think about is dollar signs and money, seeing that they've been emboldened that this has been allowed, are they just gonna be like, yeah, our turn, who are we getting? Because like it's business. Forget
Right.
anger, forget ego. It's like we care about money.
Well,
who's
and
gonna
that's
bring us the
thing
most
is
money and
whether they would want to or not, will the market pressures of the shareholders and stuff kind of push them? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Microsoft did this, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not even just like Sony, I would think about. I'm more worried about like NetEase and
Mm-hmm.
Tencent and the Saudi government getting involved and all that stuff
Yeah.
too. It's like everything. This is going to change everything.
Well, these
one
are
way or another.
two American companies merging.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, might get a little bit more complicated with like when it involves like a foreign company.
Well, maybe
trying to do that,
I mean
yeah.
with Sony in Japan, it's like
Yeah, that-
maybe they could just scoop up a bunch of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of things in Japan that make Japanese mergers less likely in terms of like they sort of protect each other and like investing in each other like little bits here and there.
Maybe
But
this changes
Yeah.
everything though.
Yeah.
This is a huge deal.
I, for one, welcome our new corporate overlord.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Kinda like what-
Racer missed the boat.
Yeah.
They popped their cooldown. They popped the nitro.
Yeah. Too soon, Junior.
But remember,
Too soon.
also remember, Ubisoft made that whole crazy deal where like
Right.
Tencent or somebody had invested in like the Guillemot family, and then the Guillemot family was able to like have protection, so like basically people can't buy them out or whatever.
Oh yeah.
as
Who
easily.
was that? Vivendi doing that? I can't remember who.
Vivendi was trying to for a long
Vivendi,
time.
Hostile
Tencent made
takeover.
a $297 million investment in Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, all these
Hostile takeovers are like so intense.
All
to
these-
prevent another takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To basically like strengthen their. It's complicated.
Yeah.
All the companies just want to race to get as many IPs secured under their belt as soon as they start turning over everything to AI to start making the games for them.
But
Don't
the-
even put that out there.
But yeah, but that's what sucks though, is because like what we've seen with like EA stuff in the past, they haven't really been on that trajectory lately. But like a lot of the thing, Baxes and stuff, people that they bought back in the day, kind of then eventually they shut them down.
Yeah.
They bought them and then they shut them down.
Yeah.
And then didn't even care about some of those franchises. And then Disney, same thing.
Yeah.
They bought Lucas and shut down LucasArts.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah.
Like, is that? I was actually. That's sort of what I was about to ask. Like, for me, little baby Isla on the ground here. Like, does this actually? Do any of these mergers actually matter? Like, is them axing smaller performing subsidiaries? Like, is that the reason that this sucks for us? Or
Yeah,
why does it suck
because
for
these
us,
are
really?
companies that otherwise, like say LucasArts, like even if
Yeah.
LucasArts had been in trouble, probably would have kept going and probably
Yeah,
and making games that were very particular to that team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think of all the
So it kind of just removes nuance and competition and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and what we're seeing with Embracer is
Need-
like, oh,
need
Embracer
competition.
is like buying up all these companies and bringing back like some of these old franchises like Darksiders and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But then,
Then they
whoops,
overextend.
deal fell through.
Yeah, they're
so
bleeding out.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna just screw all the little guys
They're
and
naked
exploit
too.
Lord of the Rings.
I just imagine one of like the worst case scenarios is like somebody like Super Giant Games
If they got bought.
If someone like them got bought up because they just make their own games, they're in charge of their own thing.
I think they were on Microsoft's list.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are on that list.
And it's like, I feel like they have made so many great games because of their independence and like, because they're not answering to corporate overlords. So if like people just get swallowed up.
An incredible pace too. Supergiant always has such good release.
Totally.
structure.
Every couple years, just some Cody.
It's crazy.
I'll tell you what I'm torn on Microsoft. On one hand, I think it could be good to maybe help Blizzard specifically.
Right.
Because I feel like Activision has not done a good job.
No, I mean,
all of
that is specifically this case is kind of weird. And then it's like, it will probably help them to fix a lot of garbage going on in that company.
On the flip side, Microsoft already has a hard time managing their studios they have right now. And they're about to buy like the biggest publisher in the world.
Did you see that graph?
No.
There is a graph that like shows like the amount of employees that Activision Blizzard has compared to the rest of Microsoft Studios.
Yeah.
All of Microsoft Studios combined is like 40 or 45%.
I mean, and at that point they're letting Redfall come out, like just not even like aware of it, essentially saying how they like didn't even monitor. It's like, you're gonna add more now, all this? And people are saying like the possibility of maybe these teams doing other things, like people that are like Call of Duty studios exclusively now, like Raven and stuff like that, get another shot, and I hope they do.
Shout out to Raven.
And like they're talking about all these IPs coming back, and I'm just sitting here thinking about Rare, how long they've had Rare, and what has come from that.
Holy cow.
It's been a disaster.
Hey, I found the graph.
It's
Is this
insane.
it?
Yeah, if you want to put that up there.
But
Cow.
yeah, this is an insane amount of employees.
Just hopefully
at
it turns
Activision
out
Blizzard
great.
King.
that's all I can hope for. That's
Oh my god.
all I can hope for.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. Because they've also talked like they would potentially just work the way that they've been working, and Microsoft won't do much at anything.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But that
Blizzard
could be a
has way
bad
more
thing.
employees than I thought.
I was just thinking that, Isla.
Yeah, good lord.
Oh yeah, Blizzard's
That
huge.
is a
Yeah,
lot.
Blizzard's a massive company.
Like Bethesda's so tiny compared to Blizzard.
I
It's
know.
like 10%.
That is wild.
Wow.
Look at our little tango there. Look at our little tango game.
Tiny fraction.
Love it. Small but mighty.
Also this week, Sega of America employees have won their union election, which now makes them the largest union in the video game industry, representing over 200 members. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge announced the new survival mode
The best.
for the Dimension Shell Shock
Here we
update.
go.
Dude, the best detail about this. So, Damiani, it's like Mr. X Nightmare for Streets of Rage 4. You finish an arena level or whatever, and then you pick a power up and go to another one.
Yep.
You can collect like ooze or something. There's something you collect that lets you turn into bosses.
Yes.
So you can play as Rocksteady, Bebop, and Shredder confirmed.
There you go.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
Heck
pumped.
yeah.
There's like 100.
It said 100 unique combat challenges.
Yeah. A bunch of challenge. New enemy types. New arenas. Oh my god, new characters.
this free?
It's out of control.
I don't
Great
think
question.
it's free, but
Great
I
question.
don't know. Let me take a look at that.
1,000 a day, 10,000 a day, I will pay it.
Yeah.
1,000 a day?
Let me see if it says anything in there about cost.
I'll pay like $8, $10 for this, even 15 if they
Oh,
want.
I thought you were going to say a
Right.
day still. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it should cost some money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
it
like
does.
Mr. X was like 8 or
It doesn't
8 to
seem to
15
say.
or something.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I feel like, or it was free. I don't remember, Chet.
There's a good write-up.
Don't
on,
correct me because I'm not committing to an answer.
There's a good write-up on
Safe.
PlayStation Blog, though, if you want to get all the details that they put out today. Some good stuff.
Cool.
Also on there, that Access controller for the PlayStation 5.
Oh, right.
It's launching December 6th for $89.99. Nice. Which I think
Okay.
is not bad
not
for a
terrible.
specialty
so-
controller like that.
Yeah, that
How
thing's
much
legit.
was the Xbox one?
I don't know off the top
Okay,
of my
I'm
head.
just curious how much they cost.
But yeah.
Yeah, DualSense like what? Like $80 or close to $80? Like Joy-Cons are like $80.
Yeah, Joy-Cons are $80. I want to say a DualSense is like 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Adaptive controller is $99.99.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Pretty good.
Great.
What about?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Silent Hill Ascension posted a dev diary talking more about that weirdo game.
Wait, which one is that?
This is the strange episodic thing where everyone in the world votes on decisions for where the story's going to go.
Yeah. What's the details?
So they didn't really like show it in action. I mean, they showed like clips and stuff from the game, but they didn't show how the decisions work.
I'm intrigued, Dyla.
But it's like you're going to have like, a few days or a week or whatever for like everybody to get their votes in, and then the next week's episode will be based on whatever choices people made.
Okay.
But they're saying they want everybody experiencing the same story and collaborating together.
If this thing lasts like 3 to 6 months, I think that's a win. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm like ready to commit.
Yeah.
If it's like 3, 4, 5 months, you finish. Everyone there's like an ending to it. I think that'd be smart instead of like trying to keep it lingering on for too long. I think there should be a clear end game for it.
Right. Well, it sounds like they've actually plotted out like multiple seasons.
Okay.
So I think maybe you'll get to like the end of a season or whatever, and then there'll be another one later on.
See how it goes. If it's a big hit, like add another season
Yeah.
or something. Okay, cool.
But they showed like some of the character designs and stuff and talked about like creating monsters in Silent Hill and like what that represents for each character. And they really went a lot into just sort of like, what the essence of Silent Hill is and that kind of thing, and like and their approach to that. And that stuff sounded encouraging.
Nice.
But I'm still just very skeptical as to like how this is going to play out. Like what is this going to be like? Yeah.
Super skeptical.
Yeah.
Twitch plays Silent Hill. It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, essentially that's what it is. Right?
Yeah.
It's like we're all just in there and like voting on what's going to happen and mob rule. Who knows? Yeah. If everyone hates that guy and you like him, too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 25 years, Evan Wells is retiring from Naughty Dog at the end of this year. Neil Druckmann, currently co-president, will be in charge when he departs, and they also announced a bunch of other structural changes, people moving up and getting new titles and things like that.
Kind of a Miyazaki vibe, Huber. President and director of a lot of
Yeah,
games.
pretty wild. Pretty wild.
crazy.
There's like not a lot of that.
Nope.
I feel like
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild.
But Neil's been working up in that position for a while. So
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said he's been talking to Neil about it for like years.
Yeah.
Just like
Sure.
plotting it out.
Sure. Yeah.
Hopefully that multiplayer game comes out, because really that's the only like speed bump
Yeah.
Naughty Dog has had in a while, minus like opinions, public opinion on their
Like
some
a
of their
game
games
being
like,
released, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Starlight, Homelander, and Black Noir
So
from The
weird.
Boys are coming to Call of Duty, as well as a load of other updates,
it's bizarre.
including,
I shouldn't be shocked
show
though,
this,
because they have already like John McClane and
the
Rambo
Whisker
and
Tango bundle,
What?
which includes 2 new operator skins,
Dude.
Sergeant Psst Psst and Sergeant Sprinkles.
I hate that.
I hate it, but it looks kind of cool. I hate it, but there's something about it. I don't know.
For listeners, these
I don't know, dude.
would otherwise look like normal soldiers, except they have cat heads.
But like weirdly cropped, like it looks like
Photoshopped in.
Yeah,
Weird.
I hate this.
They look like very realistic
around
normal cat
shooting
heads.
cats. What?
Like the helmet, the
ears
Yeah, you
come
have to
through the
shoot
helmet.
be the right.
Yeah, hell no.
For
makes
this,
me
for
wanna
the ears
not
to be
play.
that high,
Yeah.
Dominique, this is
the
not
forehead would have to be like 6 inches long.
Oh,
It's
sure,
so
sure.
Weird.
Some huge cat forehead.
This is not a normal
Yeah.
cat. This is an abomination. You should put this thing out of its misery, Damiani.
No? If it meows,
It's not
hell
gonna.
no.
It ain't gonna meow. It's gonna
It's
meow
gonna
when
meow.
Oh, it's gonna
Then it's
meow.
gonna shoot you in the head.
It's gonna meow.
Or they'll do like a sarcastic anime,
Yeah.
like meow.
Yeah,
something.
because the
Yeah.
characters talk in it, right? Like in Call
Oh
of Duty,
yeah, what are their
the
voices?
characters talk. So what's
Where's
it
my
gonna?
yarn ball?
Yeah.
Or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
These come with the free self-revive for DMZ. You may not have 9 lives, but this will at least give you an extra chance.
That seems like some pay to
win.
win shit, dude.
Hey, no way.
Hey, there's
So
a
this-
history of that in Call of
this
Duty.
kind
They
of-
had to like ban some characters because
yeah.
some of the characters couldn't be seen in shadows.
Oh.
Yeah. Straight up. It was like messing with play. They were like everyone was buying the skin that like clearly had an edge, and they had to like give it some
Chad
some
is
shaders
perfectly
and stuff.
tied between being in and out on those.
It's yeah.
So this one's a 2-pack, so you get two, both of those for the 2,400 COD points.
$24.
And then each of the boys' characters is individually, each
12.
one is 2,400.
Each one is 24.
Yeah. How much is it?
I'm assuming that's $20.
I think
don't think
you can get
$24,
1,000
is
for
it?
$8 now. Maybe I
Or
haven't
1,000
played.
for
I haven't
$8,
played COD
so
in a
like
while.
16?
I haven't done the COD
Check.
bucks.
Let us know.
I want to say 1,000 is $8.
Well, here's
maybe.
the thing, dude.
That is
Whenever the next
nuts.
Warzone comes out, you're not going to be able to carry those
1,000
guys
is-
over.
No, I feel like some characters.
1,000 is $10, 2,000
Yeah.
is $20, 4,000 is $40.
$40. Okay, so it's
So
a
it's
1-to-1.
$24?
That is fucking asinine. That is insane. That is ridiculous.
$24?
That is
Basically, you can get, but they intentionally stagger the pricing so that you have to pay more than you have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
So
pay
500 is
$25.
$5.
Yeah.
2,000 is $20. So really, to get one from scratch, you'd have to pay $25, pretty much.
That is wild.
Wow.
Freaking like Goku was, or like Luke Skywalker in Fortnite was like 15 or something.
I remember Heroes of the Storm characters being kind of expensive at the time. We were all like, oh my
Dude.
god.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this means, but the Talos Principle 2 has a laser budget twice that of the first game.
You're damn right, baby.
What does that mean?
I don't know if
It's just
that
a
means.
joke.
I don't know if that
It's
means
just
It's
Devolver
a
being
joke
accused-
to give me mental damage.
Yeah, to psychologically scar Michael Huber intentionally.
I hope. Yeah.
because budget could be how much it costs. It
Yeah.
could be animation.
Maybe those lasers
it
are
could
expensive.
Be,
I don't know.
laser puzzles, man.
I took
Seriously.
it.
How
I
many-
took it to be a cute way of saying that the game has a higher budget.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be.
Talos Principle is great. Don't sleep on it. The DLC is also great. Don't sleep on it.
Talos Principle 2 is going to be great. Don't sleep on it.
Talos Principle 2 is gonna be great. Go to
Xbox is introducing a new tool to capture and report abusive voice clips
Excellent.
up to
Oh.
60 seconds long.
Perfect.
So you can capture the clip while you're playing and then wait till later and attach it to file your report.
Sick.
Within 24 hours, that clip's also, those are separate from like your video and screenshot libraries and all that stuff.
Nice.
And then you will also be able to get notifications on any action taken from your report.
Nice.
Oh.
And this is currently rolling out to insiders and will be broadly available later after they've
Shout
done
out-
a few rounds of feedback.
Shout out to the brave few of you out there who are in public voice channels in
Yeah.
video games. That is just wild.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
the
I was
Wild
in it
West.
playing BattleBit recently, remastered.
Yeah, early access, dude.
Yeah.
Nice community in there.
It's fun,
For
dude.
sure. Nice chill vibes. Yeah, for now.
Yo, Red Sky coming in with this hot tip. The Talos Principle Deluxe Edition is $5 right now.
Oh, I saw that.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
PlayStation.
They're
Probably
giving
on-
it away.
Probably on sale on Steam or whatever too. So down from 30, it's $4.49 right now. Check it out. Don't sleep on it.
And last one here. I love this. Final Fantasy 16 is being adapted into a Japanese musical by the all-female theater company, the Takarazuka Review.
Yo.
They had a musical thing for Final Fantasy X
Yeah,
recently.
which was all male.
Yeah. So
Apparently it was
Crazy.
good. Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
No
I wonder how
one
long
here, so we won't
how
get
long
to
is this
see
gonna
it.
be at this play?
Yeah.
3 discs.
People are asking too, is anyone going to play as Torgal or will they have a puppet of some kind?
Oh man,
yes.
that'd be awesome and maybe horrible.
Some good music in that series, huh?
Absolutely. Full musical though.
Yeah,
That's badass.
That's wild.
that is wild.
All right, it's time for Love and Respect. Love and Respect. From Matt B. Based on Huber's excitement for Remnant 2 last week,
And Brad's.
I purchased the first game.
Snubbed.
Snubbed as always.
So far,
I'm also excited.
I'm incredibly delighted by what I played. It's fun, kinetic, and a combination of gameplay mechanics I never thought would work well together. Yet they do.
Gun Souls.
It's in my eyes the quintessential 7 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
My only regret at the moment is that I don't have any friends to enjoy it with. This takes me to my question. How do you convince people to invest in a game that is clearly flawed, yet still a good time? In the current landscape, it feels like gamers won't settle for anything less than a 9 or 10 out of 10 experience, but in doing so, Are we really missing out on some big gems? How do you convince others to jump in the pool so that we can all be swimming in sevens together?
I pick my battles. Pick my spots, something like Stranger Things 3 the game. I knew I could rope Damiani in there. Something like Remnant, Brad's already in, so don't even need to fight that battle.
Yeah,
but yeah, I definitely pick and choose now.
It depends how much you recommend stuff to people also. Like
Yeah.
if you're constantly pestering someone
Yeah.
to buy a game, it's just like, no. But if you're like,
This
Yeah,
one.
this one.
Commit to
Yeah.
this one.
but if you want to get crazy, you got some cash, you buy them the game.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's the cost.
Yeah.
Like the cost is gonna be the thing.
Buy
It's
them
like
the
Steam
when you're
gift.
telling them they're
Yeah.
like a 7 out of 10, but then look at the price. It's like that's not under $10. So you're like
True.
fighting a pretty steep uphill battle there.
Yeah,
Sure.
Steam makes it easy to gift a game.
Yeah.
That's all
There's
you
a
gotta
couple
do.
games that I have not. There's 2 games that I've really wanted to play co-op with either Brad or Damiani that I still have not. But it's like there's like the current landscape. It's too tough. It's Gunfire Reborn and Outward. Those 2 games I really want to play, but not games you want to play solo. I need some buddies in there.
Got
But
it,
it's just
yeah.
like there's just too much. There's just too much.
But I do think that that's a fair point, though, is a difference between just, recommending something to somebody and things like, no, being intentional is like, hey, let's play this together.
yeah.
Because I think then, if you're committing to hey, we're gonna spend some time on this, then I think people are gonna be a little bit more open. It's like, yeah, I'll play with you. It's like
Maybe.
even if it's not necessarily the favorite thing in the world, but if you're gonna have
Yeah.
a good time together,
Yeah.
be hanging out.
Like, you always hear me talk about it. Some of you make fun of me, but Fortnite is the best because it's free, so you don't have to convince your friends to play. We can all just drop together whenever we have free time. So that really helps it. Free to play games now. And then on the flip side, just the big releases that are multiplayer, like Diablo. I haven't really grouped up that much with anyone because I'm still pretty early on.
Play with
but
me.
yeah, once I beat the campaign, I'll definitely be playing with you.
I'll come down and help you out.
But it's how do you?
But that's the
If
thing.
you're-
though,
if you're
I wouldn't be
swimming- if you're a-
focused on the it's 7 out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just hey, no, this is gonna be a
Yeah,
good
don't
time.
throw out
Yeah.
the number because a
Yeah.
7 means not good to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't look at 7 as fondly as we do.
Yeah. But it's like the current landscape. It's tough because it's how are you going to compete with Warzone and Apex and Fortnite and what's that bubble one coming out?
Foam stars?
Foam Stars. Is that free to play?
I mean, with this,
yeah.
something like Remnant,
Apparently not.
you're competing more with
Splatoon.
Borderlands 3 or something. But
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just there's so many free to play ones, and then there's the big marquee Diablo, and it's just what do you?
Yeah, you
it's
got to
tough.
find the person you're convincing. You got to find
Yeah.
something about the game you're trying to convince
Yeah.
them to play that they will be into. a
like
certain
Cobra
element to
Kai.
it. Yeah, if they're into Borderlands, something dude, there's loot and guns and stuff like that going around shooting with your pals.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the angle you got to take with it.
Yeah.
But just buy them the game. Just shell out the
Definitely. That's
cash.
the best advice.
Just shell out
for
the
sure.
cash. If
Yeah.
you got the cash and you're desperate,
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be
If
the only
Kane and
option.
Lynch 3 came out, I would buy Brad a copy
Yeah.
immediately, day
yeah,
one.
especially in games on
Yeah.
Steam sales, man. If it's just dude, I bought Elder Scrolls Online
Nice.
with a package because it was on sale for
Dude.
$10 with so much
Everything?
shit. I don't know about everything.
But,
I don't
a lot?
think the most recent expansion, but I was dude, I'm just gonna get this because I'm curious about this game someday.
Yeah.
Dude, if you hop in, you let me know. You let me know, dude. If you hop in, dude. If you hop in, if you stream that,
I'm
I'm
on
there.
PC though.
Okay. Dude, I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Edens. Simple question. What would your next Tomb Raider game look like? For me, it's time to introduce the lost child of Lara's butler, Andre. Imagine his feelings.
That's some deep cut lore. I don't know if I played that one.
Yo.
There's a lot of those PS2 ones I missed. Darkness, Fall.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever the
So
hell.
many.
Yeah.
So many.
He knows that Lara always put his father in the refrigerator. Jokes aside, what is next for Lara Croft?
It's a great question because I got some hot takes on that. Really, I finished all of the new
Reboot?
trilogy and
Yeah.
all the DLCs as well. I went all in on that trilogy to completion, all in. And the newest one had the right ideas, blood with the temples, or the crypts, or the
yeah,
the
yeah.
big.
The crypts were great.
Yeah.
They were so fun, but I don't know. There was a lot of other problems, and then the combat is never really great. So that's why I always really like the first one the most. It has the benefit of being the fresh
Yeah.
reboot, so it was new and exciting, but also combat is a little less of a focus than the other one. It's like a little more paced out. Because I remember like 2 being really good, but I just did not like the combat in that game at all. It was so boring.
Interesting, because 2 I thought was really good, but I thought that the story was such a nonsense letdown.
And the story.
Like, yeah.
1 just had that really contained, like you're trapped on this
Yeah.
island, you got to get the hell out. Obviously, they added a bunch of other like family drama and stuff, but yeah, I don't know what you do.
Dude, fully, I would take it back to its roots. Go like jump on the retro like PS1 stylings like hot train right now.
So like
Fully
graphics?
Yeah, fully.
Wow.
Fully just do it. Also, make it sound less like a hentai if you're hearing it from the other room. Like, seriously, dude. I heard Omar playing this back in the day, one of these, and I was like, dude, I'm like, I can hear you. What are you doing? And I walk in, and it's like Lara Croft. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're just climbing a rock or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, or getting stabbed 800 times in a row. But like, I love the like, I don't know. I think he could do really cool stuff with modern engines in that style of gameplay and graphics right now.
That's
Maybe
cool.
even lean into make like a scary one, like scary parts or something.
Oh,
I
they
don't
tried
know.
that.
Yeah, I think that's what the
Yeah,
first one.
First one
in the
kind of
trilogy
is the
kinda was.
Descent
But in the
vibes.
but in the retro style.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, shout out to the isometric ones. Those were incredible.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
I want to say this are coming out on something.
Osiris or whatever.
Dude, top tier co-op games. Tip, top tier.
Those are fun.
2 things. One, the high budget one is you do just like some open world take on, like a big open world with Tomb Raider,
Again,
how they
yeah.
would do that. The one I think is interesting though that I would like would be stages specifically like the old ones, but it's more like Hitman style, and there's multiple ways to complete a level,
Man
perhaps.
style,
Or,
Brad.
like, approach this challenge, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hitman style is a good call. I like that.
Yeah, I think for me, like with the third game is weird because like a lot of it sounded really good on paper and even in preview events.
Shadow?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was freaking
And there was
IDOS, the Montreal hype.
There was just something about it, like you're saying, like I really, really enjoyed the temples, and those
Yeah.
were super cool. But then, like, just so much about the rest of it somehow, like, ended up feeling like just a slog to get
Yeah,
through.
it was a slog.
And I don't know exactly why.
It doesn't, that game does not blend together well.
yeah,
it's
it
like
didn't entice me
really,
to keep going forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like everything is
Yeah.
kind of just bolted on in a weird way. That was my take.
I felt like it was an improvement over the second one. I really did not like the second one in that series. I
Oh,
thought that was so
interesting.
boring that entire game. But the temples, I think, with 3 is what really bumped it up. But yeah, 3. I mean, they need to improve the combat in those games. There's like a goofy ass jaguar fight in
I
there.
remember. That's the third one.
Yeah, the third one. I remember that. I was just
Yeah.
like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
that's insane.
Yeah, and I think in terms of like where it goes next, like I do feel like they need to move away from like this sort of like weighty, grounded, like Uncharted feel. Like it would
Yeah.
be interesting for her to be just more mobile, you know?
Yeah.
Go
Like,
gamey again.
Yeah.
Flips and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
backflips
She
and
was
like
doing
being able to like
backflips nonstop.
jump and swing really easily, you know, pretty much anywhere, like a Spider-Man or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Just-
like Tomb Raider, they were such fun video games. Like they didn't have to be gritty and realistic or whatever. Like I feel like they should feel like almost like escape room puzzles in the things with some shooting and a lot of like traversal stuff. And I don't know, retro style might be fun, but yeah.
And let's bring dinos back.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Can we
Go
bring the
weird.
dinos back?
Like third act, go crazy, go
Yeah.
weird. Like fight a T-Rex riding a Cthulhu. Like,
Yeah.
go for it.
yeah.
Who's also your lawyer or something. Like he turned out to be evil. Like yeah.
From Harrison Holt McHale. Hey allies, with the latest developments in the Microsoft Activision acquisition, it's looking more and more likely that 2 characters once considered iconic PlayStation mascots will soon be owned by Microsoft. I'm talking, of course, about Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot.
We did it.
While I sit here dreaming about a Crash 4-style sequel to the original Spyro trilogy, I also ask myself if you could give any iconic Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox IP to another one to see what they could do with it. What would it be like and why? Any thoughts? Bonus points if you don't say give Banjo to Nintendo.
That's the obvious
Yeah.
answer.
They were saying they don't want that. Or what was that thing they said recently? The Rare employees said like, "Oh, there's no market."
Oh
for it.
yeah,
I
it's
was
like,
what
okay.
the hell? Like,
Yeah, what do you?
Bye. Get
Yeah.
out of here, dude. You want
Silly
to give Zelda to like Sony?
Maybe,
High budget Zelda?
maybe. I don't want like an ultra realistic
We've said
dad simulator Zelda.
But no. Like after you saw what they did with like Ghost of Tsushima and stuff, like seeing like their like high budget open world.
Your version of it, yeah. I mean, high
Maybe
fidelity would be cool.
Focusing more on combat and
Yeah, maybe.
exploration.
Maybe. Yeah.
it has to be Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have one to one
So no
of the others.
Castlevania.
No.
No, you can't do
Yeah, I
that.
was like, give Mario to Frogwares.
Honestly,
well,
I'm gonna take a shot here.
yeah.
Give Halo to Sony. Just
Ooh,
do it.
No.
Let's-
I was thinking Halo 2.
Heck
Just
yeah.
give it up.
You know
Just give it up.
You know who I thought of?
Give it up.
At this
That's
point,
good.
that's
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
sorry. I
concession.
can't.
Give it
I-
to Bungie.
Yeah, I cannot abide.
Bungie.
Yeah, give it. Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. I cannot abide.
Bungie.
I cannot get invested in the 343 ones. I'm so sorry. I just cannot get invested in those games.
Campaign writes itself. Master
Oh my
Chief is
God.
going home.
Yeah, there it is. Bring him home.
Bring him home.
Free him.
Yeah, bring him
Be
home.
huge.
The Martian.
Insane.
Metal. Yeah, Bungie taking it
He's
back.
like stuck in the 343.
I wrote down two.
I know what.
Sly Cooper
Okay, and then
to the Luigi's Mansion team.
okay.
Yeah, Next Level Games. I think they could make a really cool Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
All right.
Sick.
They,
Brett's pumped.
yeah.
Bring him back.
I can see that.
And then the other one, take Wave Race
Okay, that's not the one.
and
that you
give
said.
that to the Horizon team.
Okay, I thought you were
'Cause
say
that
F-Zero.
freaking water.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Forza Horizon or Horizon?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
yeah.
Gorilla.
Oh, Zero
Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Because I thought you were gonna say, yeah, that's pretty wild.
It's like
that's a wild
max
one.
graphics Wave Race
Yeah,
right
that's a
there.
What
wild
about
one.
Polyphony?
I don't know. I don't know that they would be
Insane,
good
insane
for.
sim of
Sort
that.
of a water
Yeah.
tech demo again. Where
Oh
they
my
show,
God,
like,
yeah.
You spend like 10 minutes on water. It would be sick. I thought you-
Chat had a really good one. Claire in chat said, give Sony Metroid, and then chat was talking about it, and they said Housemark Metroid would be really
Oh, Housemark
Ooh,
would be
that's
good for
That'd be
Metroid.
very cool.
That is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say give like Wave Race, F-Zero, and something else to an Excite series to Microsoft so they could make like oh my gosh, why can't Forza style like
Forza
Forza
Horizon
Horizon
style, yeah.
style like open world where you could go between all of those vehicles. That'd be kind of sick.
I have a fun one.
What do you got?
Ratchet and Clank to Nintendo.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that could be sweet. Oh, give Banjo to Insomniac then. They can do platformers.
Insomnia, yeah.
Yes.
Little
Yeah,
trade.
that would
Yeah,
be
little
nice.
trade.
That would be really nice, actually.
You could also give a. They can give a Gravity Rush to Nintendo.
Yep.
So at least
Somebody-
do something with it.
Give Croc Legend of the Gobos to somebody.
To somebody.
I don't care who.
Bethesda.
Just do it. No, not that. Anyone but
dude.
them.
Dude. Oh. I say give that there. Well, they will. Give Pokemon the Blizzard.
Oh my god.
Oh,
They already have
No.
Pokemon in World of Warcraft.
There you go.
there we go.
The
Pet battles
the
were awesome.
nightmare. The nightmare Pokemon.
That's funny.
Koshibitsu says give Silent Hill Capcom. Yeah, hell yeah.
Fun.
Nice. It's time for bets. Pikmin 4 is out next Friday. Yeah, next Friday already.
This year is insane.
Needs to relax. Chill out.
Before the podcast next week, I'm going to look for the most recent Pikmin 4 trailer on Nintendo's YouTube channel. How many likes will that trailer have? Brad.
Oh yeah. Let's see. What did I write again? Oh, 17.5K.
Nice.
17.5 thousand likes. Huber.
16,000.
Oh, damn it.
16,000. Damiani.
13,000.
13,000. Isla.
Shit. 14,000.
Well, we're all tight, huh?
Yeah.
Dawn.
Don also says 14K.
14K. And then I bet 15.7K.
We got the low.
Nice.
We secured the low and the high.
Excellent.
They
All right.
might take it on this one.
Last week's bet, Exoprimal, out tomorrow.
So tonight.
It's out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
It's already
Yeah,
out?
I think
Probably
it'll
out in
be
a couple
tonight,
hours.
yeah.
It's out somewhere in the world.
Exoprimal, dude.
Last week I asked the panel how many times the word exosuit or exosuits would appear in the most recent trailer, including audio, video, pre-order cards, legal text, all of it. Brad bet 15 times. Huber bet 8 times. Damiani bet 17 times. Isla bet 16 times. Don bet 6 times, and I bet 21 times. The Exoprimal launch trailer is 4 minutes and 17 seconds long.
Oh,
That's
shit.
long.
Over halfway through, there was no mention of exosuit. But then, they go into a breakdown of each and every exosuit.
Oh, no.
However, they never use the word exosuit. They just refer to them by their class names, not using the word exosuit itself.
It wasn't even on screen?
Wasn't even on screen through all of that. Then, the first time the word appears is at 3 minutes and 37 seconds, saying that Title Update 1 will add 10 variant exosuits. But then, the pre-order screens start popping up.
Oh, shit.
We get 10 more uses
We're up to 11.
of the term, bringing the final number to 11. Huber is the winner.
Dude, that's a
streak.
streak.
That's a
That's the streak.
Yep.
The streak begins.
Since the Grizzlies got 2 points in a row, they've activated their streak bonus, netting them 2 points this week. But Don, be sure to put an asterisk by that number.
He will.
What is this? Fucking Roger Maris? 61? What?
I'm scared.
That brings our scores to Garrulous Ducks 19. Quack, 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 quack. And Sleepy Grizzlies 11. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Patreon is how all of this stuff happens. It is what pays the bills for us to come in and do this work week in and week out. So thank you to everybody who supports us. We need your support. So if you're not a patron yet, if you've had to walk away for a minute or whatever, please consider jumping in there and contributing to keep making the streams and the reviews and all this stuff keep running. At $5 a month, you get access to this podcast 2 days early. You get it ad-free. You get bonus Love and Respect questions. You get to submit to Love and Respect. You get to get in on that Discord. There's all kinds of other stuff in there just on that $5 level. And then at $10, you can be on our contributor tier and get to submit to things like the Community Showcase, Stream Team, and Q&A. And then folks who are helping us out at the $25 level or above, our producer tier, and our platinum producers get shout-outs on this podcast every week, as well as shout-outs on Frame Trap and Reaction Shots. And this month's shout-outs go to Jabawebs, Elthanis, and Greg the Dark Knight Kettering. Shout out.
Out.
Huber,
Yo.
you won that bet. So you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you'd like to reiterate or just popped in your head or whatever. And you get to sign off. What's your trademark? Sign off.
I was gone for a few days. Any cool videos out? What is there, Bloodworth? Anything good? Isla, you probably got something cooking up. What do you got? What do you got?
I mean, I'm cooking some stuff.
What has been
Cooking some
cooked?
stuff. What has been
What
cooked?
have you cooked lately? What have you brewed?
Well, we did the Fantasy League check-in.
Fantasy League check-in. I watched some of that actually because I was with Tokyo Slim, patron saint of Reaction
yeah.
Shots, and he was like, "Yo, I need to catch up on Easy Allies content." So he watched that, and that was a delightful video. So check that one out. Some old allies in there, good vibes. Next
Final
is
word.
Final word. Yo, game preservation is important. It is good. Shout out to Limited Run Games. That they are doing work over there. That is good. We need more of that. Keep up the momentum. Keep it
Embracer, don't
going.
mess with that.
Yeah.
Because they're under Embracer now, so you got to be careful.
Oh.
Limited run is? Oh boy.
Yeah, let them be over there, Embracer. And yeah, just it's summer. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. Love and respect.
I like to use a controller.